There's been a sharp decline in the number of children being born globally. A report published in The Lancet says that in 1950, women were having an average of around 5 children in their lifetime, but that figure has now halved. With me now is our reporter, Katie Silver, who's been covering the story. So, Katie, this was a huge study going from 1950 up until last year. Take us through the detail of it, first of all.
Right, so as you say, they looked at data from across the world, and what they were trying to see is, as you say, it was basically 4.7 children in 1950 was the average woman was having. Now it's down to about 2.4. Now the problem here is that the replacement rate is 2.1 children. So every woman needs to be having 2.1 children for basically the population to continue going as it is. Otherwise they face what's known as a baby bust. And the real problem here is that we're not going to have enough, of a labour force to sustain the ageing population.
So what are governments doing or going to do with this data?
Well, they're trying lots of different things. So around the world, for instance, you're seeing shared parental leave. That's about getting women back in the workforce and making, having babies easier. We're seeing, for example, I investigated this in Singapore. They're doing a host of things there. They subsidise dating for young people. They subsidise IVF. They give preferential housing to couples based on the number of children they're having. They're doing a host of different things. Scandinavia, we're seeing there, and France, for instance, provision of early childhood caring, things to make it an incentive and to take away the disincentive of having the number of children.
So lots of governments are already very much tuned into the fact that there's this shift in the demographic that's going to be happening. But you were saying to me just a few moments ago, it's not necessarily working in all of these places.
We're not seeing a great deal of success. So what I mentioned in Singapore and in Japan, for instance, these policies aren't being all that effective. The policy in France, that had some impact, but it's a crisis really across Europe. No country in Western Europe has this 2.1 figure. Here in the UK, it's 1.8 children on average for every woman. So they're going to have to look more and more at how to also have a cultural shift so that women feel inspired to both have children and that they can continue their time in the workforce as well.
Okay, Katie, thank you very much. Very interesting. Katie Silver.